Yeah, any baseball fan, regardless of what team you're cheering for, be excited to see a guy like this. He's got excellent stuff, and as a freshman, a lot of upside. I mentioned the sharp curveball from Lumbert. Fetterman, on the same token, expect to see that curveball pretty consistently tonight. He's not afraid to use it to get ahead of hitters. And on the other side, from FGCU's standpoint, if you're looking for it, it's easier said than done, but there is an opportunity to jump on those curveballs early in counts.
First pitch fastball.
Elevated that fastball real nicely there. Looked like it might have been tipped right into the mitt for the strikeout.
22nd start for him in what is the 24th game of the year for Miami, and Lumbert freezes him on a first pitch curve for strike one.
Curveball there. Great job to use it to get ahead in the count.
That's something you said we might see from Fetterman as well, those get me over curveballs to get ahead and keep the hitters patient.
Yeah, I will hesitate to use the term get me over. What I would say is, because they're still very sharp pitches, but we'll elevate them a little bit more to give a little more margin for error under the assumption that the guy's not going to take a swing first pitch.
See you leading the team in a number of categories.
Yeah, you will see, takes some vicious hacks. He does not get cheated. He probably, actually certainly takes the hardest swing of anyone on this FGCU squad. And I think he got behind the first two hitters of the game, but has really started to spot that fastball, throwing the curveball, and he's used both pitches kind of since halfway through that first inning to really settle in. That was an excellent job by Coffers to get over to that ball, glove it, turn around. As he's a right-handed thrower, he's going to the line. He has to turn around completely and gets rid of it in a hurry on the money. See that curveball again, went to it for all three strikes in that at bat. He is not afraid to use that pitch, especially to big hitters. He'll throw it 3-4 times in a row. Great play by Coffers out there. Lumbert probably a little upset with himself on the 0-1 pitch. Looked like he might have left a slider up there. Certainly wasn't located where he wanted it. Maury's a guy that has kind of changed his hitting approach this year. I was talking with Director of Baseball Operations for the Eagles, Nick Rivera. He said he's changed his approach and he's really hitting the ball harder to the pull side, which would be right field, which isn't your typical side you would hear when...
He checked his swing on a curveball, but they say he went around for strike three. So Fetterman's third strikeout, and he gets Maury swinging. Just
to go back to that real quick, when you hear a guy that's changed his hitting approach, you usually will hear that he's working it to the opposite field a little bit more. And in his case, he's hitting the ball harder to that pull side. And obviously, we didn't see it right there, but hopefully later on this evening.
0-2 fastball up and away for a ball.
Does a good job to lay off right there. It's really a tough spot when you fall behind a guy like Fetterman, who's as sharp as he is with his pitches right now. When you fall behind 0-2, he didn't miss that last pitch with that fastball up. That's right where he wanted it. He wanted to get Gilmore to chase. It's a good job by Cole to lay off it.
When you wonder if there's a pitch count assigned to him tonight. Fastball's in for a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, and part of throwing just the 3 innings, I would say, on Sunday was with tonight's start in mind. It's almost like a bullpen session for him. I don't know the exact pitch count of that outing, but I have to imagine it was similar to what a bullpen would have been.
49 pitches we're told on Sunday.
Just no chance. That's excellent sequence. You got to credit Fetterman there. Uses 2 hard sliders, spotted perfectly to get up 0-2, then locates the elevated fastball, 90 plus, mid-90s at his ears. He's not going to touch that.
And something clicked for this kid before last season, Thomas. You look at his numbers back in junior college, went to South Florida State, an ERA north of 6 as a true freshman 2 years ago. Curveball drops in for a called strike 2.
And I think what clicked was that pitch you just saw there. Beautiful curveball with the tight break. It's all about the command of that secondary pitch to keep hitters off balance.
There it is again, and like another good bunting opportunity here to put a couple of runners in scoring position. Is that the play you would have, Thomas?
It's a traditional play. You have the leadoff man up. Having said that, no one knows the players, certainly not me, like this coaching staff, to know what they're dealing with. So I'm not in the position to make that call, but as a traditional baseball by the book, expect across college baseball most teams to bunt with their leadoff man here with runners on first and second, no one out in a tie game, especially with runs as tough to come by as they've been. They might have the infield in if it was just a runner on third, but with the runner on second, when you give up that range, if a ball gets by you up the middle, it ends up being 2 runs as opposed to just the 1. Coffers on first base with 9 of 10 steals.
Oh, there you go. He's running. The throw is on target, but not in time.
They definitely like the utility guys that can move around and play all the positions, especially even first base now on the infield. It's really evolved into a position that you have to be able to play defense at. Yeah, third time around the lineup. Miami starting to familiarize themselves a little bit more with his repertoire and able to foul a few more pitches off.
For the Hurricanes, first pitch is a slider down and away. Gonzalez pulls a bunt back for ball 1.
And Gonzalez may be looking for a bunt for a base hit there. He's a guy that has some power, though. He's got 4 home runs on the season. 2 of them came in his first start, actually. He replaced Jake Smith after an injury and went 4 for 5 in his first game with 2 home runs. Maybe elevated just a bit. Does a good job with the 2 strikes to kind of shorten up and get that barrel on it for clean single out to center. Might be discussing a little bit with the pitcher as well as the infield here. With the runner on first with 1 out in the 2-0 count, it's a fastball count. So if you're FGCU, maybe you're thinking hit and run, and that's something that Miami, they're going to have a conversation. Maybe they switch up the coverage up the middle with the second base and shortstop. And by coverage, I'm talking about on a steal, a stolen base attempt. Normally, with a right-handed hitter, you'd have the second baseman covering. Maybe they switch that up and have the second baseman hold his position on a steal to give them a little more coverage and kind of counteract that hit and run.
First pitch, breaking ball, dents the outside corner, strike 1.
It's tough for a pinch hitter to come in, look at that first pitch, curveball. When you haven't seen it all night, it's a tough spot for him as well, especially with Fetterman continuing to spot that off. Excellent job by Lovell. Couldn't pull the trigger on the 2-1 fastball, but gets it again on the 2-2 pitch. Elevated a little bit, doesn't try and do too much. Gets the barrel on it, shoots it through the 4-3 hole, and gives FGCU the 1-0 lead here in the 8th. Exactly what you draw up if you're FGCU, and a great job by Herring making a pitch. Fastball on the outside corner, gets Tackett to roll it over for the 6-4-3 double play. Will affect kind of the pitches that they can call, and Herring with a good curveball, not as likely to throw that pitch in the dirt with the tying run on third base 90 feet away. Luck loss, pitched well enough to win, and Miami's not going to be overly upset about losing this game. There's not a whole lot in it. You hate to single out one play, but if you look to the 9th inning when Miami, they had the runners on first and second with no one out, and Tackett up trying to square around a bunt to push them along. He's unable to do so, then with 2 strikes ends up swinging away. A great pitch by Herring on the outside corner gets Tackett to roll over to the shortstop. FGCU then turns it for the 6-4-3 double play. So from Miami's standpoint, instead of potentially runners on second and third, 1 out, you're just a runner on third with 2 outs, and next batter line drive center field, ball game over.